All right, folks, are you ready? It is time for the run you've all been waiting for. It is SpootyBiscuit, Stepmania, and it's no TG, I believe. I've pronounced that wrong, but either way, let's get ready with the run. SpootyBiscuit, take it away.
Heyo, I'm Spooty, and I'm going to be showing you 4-panel mods today through Stepmania / NotITG. We're going to be playing kind of like DDR, but not quite. I'm going to be leaving most of the commentary to my pals Windu and Taronuk. Say hi, guys.
Hey, yo.
Hello.
Both of them have made a lot of content for this, and Taro, in fact, did a lot of the development work on the engine we're using right now. So, we've pretty much got developer commentary, and that's always the best kind of commentary. So, they're the experts at making them. I'm the one playing it. I'm going to be focusing on that. And, for those of you who might be newer to dance games in general, don't worry, they'll walk you through all the important stuff. We're going to start over in marathon mode. We're kind of going to do a little bit of a history of kind of the mod scene. And we're going to start with where I think it kind of all began, with an official mod course from In the Groove 2 called Driven, which is kind of where the whole mod stuff took off. Time will start once we start this song. And yeah, I'll turn it over to the commentators. 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Mm-hmm. All right, so you got it. Yeah.
So, Driven, so In the Groove is a game that, this is a game that actually came out. It's not some, strange hack Stepmania. This is a game that was in arcades in the mid-2000s, 2004, 2005. And this is content that was actually playable in arcades, believe it or not. Do you want to add anything, Windu?
Yeah, so what we're starting with is something called a marathon, which is kind of like DDR's non-stop mode, except also, as you can see, it can do many eccentric things. You can notice the playfield, whatever, what have you. And that's pretty much the focus of this entire block. Right off the bat, actually, we're seeing what is known as the Driven Drop, which you can see the targets moving towards the arrows, whereas normally in 99% of other cases, you see the arrows moving upwards towards the targets. And you're actually going to see a bit of a shout out to that just throughout the block. It's a very prominent feature of mods, and so much so that it has coined its own term from this course called Driven. Yeah, this is the first of 4 songs in this course. We're gonna see a couple more simplistic things in the grand scheme of things with this block, but at the time it was pretty out there, even for the standards of just mods for In the Groove 2.
Yeah, I actually just trimmed that marathon just down to Energizer because I think the Driven Drop is such a defining moment of it. Moving on, then we kind of, around the same time, we had people like Windu making custom content. And he was very well known at the time for the Insomnia courses. Since we've got a little more time than the original hour I was planning, I thought I was going to get, I'm going to go ahead and play Insomnia Finale, the last one in the series. So, yeah, Windu, this is your area of expertise. I'm going to play on normal. There is an intense difficulty where the charts are a lot harder. I'm not 100% consistent on being able to do that. So we're going to, while I'm warming up, we'll just play at the normal difficulty.
Yeah, so I guess I talked a bit about just the Insomnia series as a whole. Back when we were still doing course files. Because nowadays it's just plug and play mod files. It is extremely simplistic compared to how we used to have to do things. Yeah, the name Insomnia was just coming from when I was visiting a couple friends in the mid-2000s, and I had a hard time just falling asleep, and just kind of out of type seeing friends from out of state. So what I did was start making a course called Insomnia, just Insomnia, the first one. And that just wound up turning into a series, and this is the last one out of 4 total. So 1, 2, 3, and then finale. This is basically my last big dive into course files, aside from the tournaments that I made afterward.
Why don't you guys talk a little bit about like some of the fundamentals of like the game, the arrow colors, the timing windows? Because you gotta remember, this is a speedrunning crowd, not a rhythm game crowd.
That's true, yeah. We can take that talk.
Alright, so it may look like there's just a bunch of nonsense on screen right now, and, I mean, you wouldn't be wrong. You wouldn't be wrong in thinking that there's a bunch of nonsense going on screen, but there's a lot of method to this madness. So first things first, you probably noticed that the arrows have different colors to them. And the color of the arrow is actually indicating what timing that note is. So all of the red arrows are on the 4 on the floor, heavy like main beats of the song. All of the blue arrows are on the off beats, and all of the green arrows are 16th notes, which are in between the bass beats and the off beats. And sort of by looking at just the colors, you're able to work out the rhythm of a song even if you've never heard it before, once you get really good at reading by purely color. Another thing to point out is that there are arrow directions. That's a pretty obvious thing to notice. But the directions of the arrows are not always pointing correctly. However, there's sort of a hierarchy of how we want to read things. So, if you see an arrow on screen, and you can see what direction it is, clearly, and the direction of that arrow pointing is not being obfuscated in any way, you generally want to hit that arrow that you see, even if it's on the far right of the screen and it's pointing left. It's probably a left arrow. But, if the arrow direction is obfuscated, and it's on the left side of the screen, you have to assume it's a left, because there's no other information to go on. And mods is quite interesting, because there at any given time, 3 or 4 bits of information for you to work out what the next arrow is to hit. And a mod file will never obscure more than half of them, otherwise it's generally just considered not readable.
Yeah. Oh, if I can interject real quick.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, so chat in general just pointed out something really good. Yeah, there's a lot of motion going on, and it's going to get even more intense throughout the run. Right now it's mostly just a lot of motion, but later on there's definitely going to be a lot of very intense flashing, I want to say. So yeah, if you are prone to any really bodily reactions regarding that, I would definitely be wary of watching and tuning in. Just be healthy. That's all. But yeah, as Tara was saying, there's generally a few things that people playing mods latch onto as far as how to read it, because it can be a disappointing thing, but yeah. So there's arrow directions, which help. There's note colors, which I think is, in my opinion, the biggest one. That lets you discern the order of the notes, which kind of has a domino effect on parsing how you read it. And then I think a little later on we're gonna see something called chunking, which is kind of giving yourself kind of a buffer for yourself, if that makes sense. As far as what you can see, as far as just the readability of the chart is concerned, in a normal state, before you need to actually parse it again real quick. So I guess taking mental snapshots, if that makes sense, every so often.
Yeah, a lot of good moderating is just about kind of keeping caught up, and making sure you're reading notes well before you actually hit them. As mods get more intense, it takes more time for you to mentally process the notes, and you start to kind of encroach upon that time bank you have of mental space. So it's important to try and stay caught up as caught up as you can. So I'm always like reading like 8 notes ahead whenever I can.
Yeah, it definitely helps. Like all of those fundamentals of mod reading, really, that we discussed, they all play their own part. Just the color reading, the direction reading, and just chunking, buffering. When you can't rely on one, you have to rely on the others, and it's like kind of a big switch back and forth in some cases.
So one of the things that one of the things that's pretty important to note is that mods gameplay in general kind of assumes you're already really familiar with reading the normal unmodified game, and that's something that I think people sometimes forget, that you are expected to be familiar with playing charts at least level 9 or 10 to play this kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. I think nowadays most mod charts, I want to say the vast majority have like a ITG level, 7 to 10 range.
Yeah.
So I got a little break here because Windu ended off with like kind of a credits stage. There are no actual steps here. Instead, he kind of cleverly used a bunch of combinations of mods and mines to spell out, names of people he wanted to thank for the Insomnia series. And it's kind of, a trip down memory lane for me because a lot of these names are names I haven't heard in a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was Insomnia Finale normal. If I have the time later, I might come back towards the end of the block and try it on Intense. Parts are much, much harder on Intense difficulty, but it is something I've done before, so, we'll see. Oh, hey, there's a particularly familiar name right here.
Oh, who's that?
Yo, it's you. Yeah, something I want to say about the credits real quick, this file. It is a direct shout out to Pump It Up's NX2 World Max credits, which does a lot of the same thing, just like with fake steps and their own mods, to do like something very similar for the step artists. So I thought it was really cool.
And while we're letting this play, why don't we set the stage for what's coming up next? Because the next thing we're going to get into is the Windu Hates You tournament series, and establish some background on that.
Yeah. So, Windu Hates You is a course I made, just as like a complete joke, right? It was very silly mods, not intended to be taken too seriously. But like later down the line, my friend Mint, who does sight reading tournaments down at University of Illinois, he ran what's called SRTs, sight reading tournaments, what it stands for, and they're for the most part just vanilla charts, right? Just normal dancing charts, do your best to score on them. And one semester, because we do them every semester, I asked, hey, would you mind if I, did a tournament alongside yours, but with, a focus on mods and, graphics and stuff?
Jam.
So, that's kind of where the whole, Windu Hates You tournament series came from. And literally every single tournament installment is just a silly name with a silly title screen, just basically input from my friends, hey, what do you think would be funny for a title screen? So
Crossover
a lot of
bracket.
just I was kind of the meta at that time, man.
Anyway, a little break here. All the targets do their thing.
I find it really funny that nowadays people would just put arrows in this break.
Yes.
And I chose Printer Jam specifically because it was a major source of inspiration for another mod creator, who is also in the commentary booth.
Oh, I wonder who that is. No, wait. So this is pretty much the course that made me decide, hey, I actually want to do this. Because ITG was a thing, obviously in 2005, I mentioned in the first course. But there wasn't much custom content until people like Windu, who I am currently sitting with, and also Brother Mojo, another old head name, that were making custom content. And I thought, hey, I could do that. I've been making Flash games for a while. Yeah, let's do it. And I started my own SRT series. UK SRT is that, but in the UK. And
We'll see some stuff from that later on in the block.
yeah,
Also, Printer dead. F's in the chat for Printer.
printer.
Alright, so we're going to leave Marathon mode because it was around this time that we stopped using CRS files and started being able to bake stuff directly into the song charts themselves. And I'm gonna, since I got a little extra time, I'm gonna play what was the last song in the entire Windu Hates You series.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
And it's kind of amazing to see the progression between Printer Jam and this. Like, same person a couple years later.
so I actually reached out and had this song commissioned specifically for the tournament, which I'm pretty sure was the first for like just anything at that time. And nowadays, we're seeing more just general musicians, artists in in the rhythm community, just providing their content, making content for each other. So it's really great to see. Also, yeah, with this particular file and like this whole tournament installed it, I definitely have to give thanks to Tara's Done in the Groove build, because I think without it, playtesting this and like trying to run it through and make sure everything worked would just not have been possible.
Oh, right. That's right. So NotITG is a sort of, it's more like a platform than just developer Stepmania. Because I initially made it in 2013 because I got tired of dealing with how normal ITG that you have to playtest the whole course to test an effect at the 4 minutes into a 5-minute long song. And it just made debugging a nightmare, so I was thinking, I'm tired of this, I'm gonna make this better, and then pretty much now everyone uses it.
Yep. It was not a fun time to debug everything. Like Tara said, just having to play through most of the song until like what you wanted to check.
This section's R&D.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this uses Lewis Math.random before I started implementing random seed into my files.
Thankfully I didn't get too bad at randomness, that was pretty easy to read. Oops, didn't lift my foot there.
You can get ones where the game just decides, no, you can't read this anymore. Goodbye. So bear in mind, this is very hard. This is not a course that is considered easy. I would describe this as the first mod file that is really hard. That was really hard in terms of the mods themselves, because it was normally just decently hard or fairly simple mods with harder charts up until this point.
Yeah. I think Taro mentioned that, like, this kind of set the tone for, like, boss files for mod. Like, he was definitely one of them.
Yeah. True! This was made for a sight reading tournament.
Oh, yeah.
So the people playing this hadn't seen this before. Bear in mind, it's not like a memorization thing. People have to read this.
what I was saying earlier, actually, with my friend second term is, so he did mostly vanilla charts, and I started doing mod charts with like the same premise of no one's ever seen them before. You have to figure out what to do on the spot. And I think actually this is a good time to say I made a file specifically for this block that no one's seen before, not even Spooty. So he's gonna be along for the ride just with you guys.
All right, so after the When Do Hate You series, we started seeing the Mods Boot Camps tournament series, which had a little bit of a different format. We're going to move over to that.
Okay, let's turn it out.
Yeah, so there was a little bit of a hiatus after the last tournament I did for the NotITG series. And then there was something called Mods Boot Camp, which became a series, actually. So I made the first one. Condor Talon, one of our mutual friends, made the second one. And then Taro here, as well as Becky and Halcyonics, made the third one. And
Puro
yeah,
too.
especially... Oh, sorry. And Puro, yeah. And honestly, like, a lot of just small input from a lot of our mutual friends, just like that friend group and circle. But yeah, so this was kind of a different style tournament that I wanted to experiment with. As far as like, so the When Do Hate You series and like the SLTs in general were usually just a gauntlet, right? It's just whoever gets the highest like half of the score, the highest half of the scores move on to the next round, and it keeps getting cut down. But this was more of a direct like head-to-head. It was best 2 of 3, and the way this tournament worked is there were 4 tiers, right? So tier 1 is like kind of basic mod stuff, and no one got knocked out yet. Tier 2, a little bit of harder mods. But yeah, it was a random mod file picked from the pool, which I made like 25 or so. It was a lot of files.
The format's really fun though.
Yeah. I really like just how this one turned out. 2 and 3, like it was such a good time. That was a good offset change, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a break, and the offset felt a little off, so made that adjustment.
Very skillful.
Here, you know, but it's not all super hard stuff. In fact, we're gonna have a little more of a laid back file here. Chat, I want you to ready 2 clap emojis.
Oh.
Yeah.
If my commentators can help cue them when to fire them off.
Oh, but that's going to be difficult. I have a different latency to what I'm used to. Count 15 beats before the clap if you know where the claps are. I'm just gonna say that. There's gonna be at least one person in chat who's gonna know and who's gonna be dead on.
Yep.
So this is from Mods Boot Camp 2, which was made by Condor Talon.
Yeah, and I believe this was a tier 2.
Yes.
So still in the first like half of the tournament, but right at the cusp of when it really starts getting difficult. Yeah, most of what you're seeing is I'm seeing like a lot of stuff which basically whitens all of the arrows and takes away the color. So as we mentioned earlier.
All right,
so
clap for that soon.
Oh, yep. Thanks for cutting me off. That is important.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, when you take away the color, you're gonna have to fall back on different things like arrow direction, and just like the general scrolling. As we were talking about earlier, just like all of the basic mod reading fundamentals, and I am seeing all of those claps flooding chat. I am loving it.
Y'all nailed it. Yeah, no, if you don't get those claps in, your run is invalid. Sorry, I don't make the rules.
My offset still needs a little adjusting. Anyway, we'll move on to so that was like an early tournament song from Mods Boot Camp 2. This one was from the final round, so it's gonna be a little trickier. Just a little.
Spooty, after your previous offset change, you actually didn't change it.
Yeah, I just noticed that. That's like why it felt off. Okay.
Yeah, so this is the final tier, tier 4 of Mods Boot Camp 2. This is one of 5 songs that was in the ending. 5 is just the number we settled on, and the whole tournament leading up to this tier was a best of 3. So there was a larger pool to choose from. Plus, it was like more pairs. Tier 4 is just the top 2. And only just 5 songs, so we made it best 3 of 5.
And I feel like I should also mention, because people that have played DDR or ITG will know how harsh the life bar can be. In these tournaments, the life bar is completely disabled. It is purely about the person that suffers the least.
Yeah.
So there's no need to worry about just sort of getting spooked and missing 10 arrows at the beginning of the song, failing, and then losing because of that. That wouldn't make for an interesting tournament. We purely want to base it on the number of the amount of it that you manage to read more than your opponent.
But yeah, not only that, but I think we didn't do this for Mods Boot Camp 1 and 2, I believe, but for 3 and actually your UKSRT tournaments as well. That's a little fun. SRT tournament. But yeah, we changed the grading weights of each judgment. So like misses aren't as harsh as they normally are. But mines are. I don't know if we talked about mines actually.
You guys haven't talked about
like
score or timing at all.
I feel like mines are pretty self-explanatory. You just put little bombs in the chart that people can't step on to prevent people from mashing all the buttons.
Yeah.
So we're going on to Mods Boot Camp 3, and there's definitely going to be like a shift. You're going to see a shift in the kind of visuals. There's an old flash animation for this song, which if you're familiar with, you might see some familiar things here.
Oh, yes. So, Mods Boot Camp 3 is pretty much and sort of everyone is here of the mods community. We made lots of files that reference characters and events that were featured in previous tournaments. And for this one, everyone should know Night of Nights. I don't know if everyone actually knows Night of Nights, but Night of Nights.
And these aren't rhythm game people you're necessarily talking to.
Well, Night of Nights isn't really a rhythm game thing. It was just a very famous Flash animation.
It did become like a rhythm game thing, like down the line, like very much. But yeah, it has its roots in the Toho franchise, which is a bullet hell, which inspired a lot of our like kind of story fanfiction, if you will, of like all of the reading tournaments that we did. But yeah, if Spooty mentioned we weren't really talking about score before, so if I want to do that real quick, there's a couple of different judgments in ITG, like it's core game. So fantastic, excellent, great, decent without this, from best to worst. Each one has a specific weight to it. It gives you what's called dance points, and the percentage you're seeing at the results screen is just a combination of all of those added together or subtracted. Obviously, if you get all fantastics and you hold all the holds, you'll get 100%. But yeah, like I said earlier, we changed it a little bit for UKSRT stuff. All Tara did, just to make it more lenient.
Oh yeah, I was competing in a tournament, and I lost to someone who was mashing more than me, and I decided this is not okay, and rewrote the scoring system because I was very salty.
That's good. Oh yeah, so this is your file.
Yes. So there's a lot to talk about in this file, and I'm not going to be able to talk about it in the 2 minutes, but let's just say, if you've ever played Groove Coaster before, you probably get what this is, but model rips for Groove Coaster were not easily available, so I had to handwrite all of this geometry using Notepad, essentially.
That's wild. It's certainly paid off, I think.
Oh yeah, there's a video comparison between this that's unlisted on my channel that I can post at some point. It's pretty much 1-to-1 with the video from the original game, but it's recreated in Stepmania.
I also like how you added ad-libs.
Yes, a controversial mechanic in Groove Coaster, where there are some invisible notes in the chart that you just have to know where they are. They don't count as misses if you miss them, but you have to hit them to get the max score. This is probably my favorite part to choke and instantly fail.
I think you mentioned that this file is essentially one gigantic driven job, right?
Yes, it is. It doesn't really make a difference because the camera is following it, but that file that Spooty played first, Driven, where the notes stay still and the receptors move through them, that is actually taking place through this entire file.
Hey, all the ad-libs. Yeah.
You did it.
Alright, so we're going to move on to, so this is a speedrun marathon, so I'm going to sneak in a little speedrun.
Also your file, Taro.
Yeah. So one of the best things about Stepmania is it's actually just a general-purpose 3D game engine that just happens to have a rhythm game stapled to it. I made this game for a game jam that was hosted by my friend Jace a long time ago, and it's a single-button game because at the time in the Groove could only detect could detect if a button was pressed, but not which button. So I decided to take that and turn that into a game mechanic. And so this whole game is based around you can only move in the direction you're facing, and there are arrows on the floor that guide you, and it is called Arrow Quest. It's mostly about timing the direction.
Tried to make the cycle, didn't fit in.
It's mostly about timing the direction the arrow is pointing when you get off it to go in the right, go the right way and not die.
Alright, come on. Okay.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
That was a tight cycle, that's close.
It's so cool just how, like, even at the time, how much you can do with just a single input.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very big game design thing. I think this came second overall in the game jam, but I'll take it. I made 2/3 of it while drunk or something. So.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, thought I could squeeze in that cycle. This run is very cycle based. You just gotta try and get there before during the windows you have.
Something I think... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
So while we're going through, do you mind if I jump in with a few donations?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we did.
Thank you all. We have a $1 donation from Selfire101 who says, I've been hyped for this all week. I can't wait to see Windows' new chart. We also got a $10 anonymous donation coming in here. We also have a $2 donation from OB5er who says 2, just the number 2, that is it. We also have a $48.57 donation from Runsley, Runsley. Says, what the heck? You can't actually read this, right? There's random arrows everywhere. It made me take random numbers for my donation. Good luck, Spooty, and hit the funny arrows.
We have the 1 bit of speed tech coming up here. We'll see if I get it. We're just doing the any %, so we're getting the bad ending because we didn't get the gems. But we can skip the last arrow encounter if I mash hard enough. Yes, we got it!
Whoa, okay. That was... You can, if you go fast enough, you just sort of clip through the final kick encounter, and it saves like 20 seconds. So it's not a world record, but it's pretty fast. I think he's gotten a sub 3 before.
Yeah, I've got a sub 3.
Oh, before we talk about this real quick, I see a lot of T's in chat. Maybe we can get the $2 donation train going.
Oh yeah, by the way, chat, I want to ask chat something real quick. Between the left and right arrow, which is your favorite?
Ooh.
Vote now.
Vote now on your phones. So this is pretty much an experiment in mixing mini games and hitting arrows, and I pretty much made this because Undertale was big at the time, and I'm a huge fan of it. But recreating the Spider Dance fight in the context of Stepmania is something that's pretty interesting. I see a lot of people saying right. This is concerning.
Don't tell them it's concerning.
No, say right. It's perfectly fine. So this is pretty much if you dodge stuff, if you run out of health, your playfield actually disappears as well, and you cannot continue the chart. So you have to do both.
I'm no hit so far. We'll see if we can keep it up.
I think left's making a comeback.
I really should have been counting.
I don't know if there's any way to actually tell.
True.
I'm just gonna control F the chat that I have up and see how many hits come up for each one.
So there's one more minigame section where you have to escape from the giant spider, and this time it's wider and there are more spiders. And then we have both at the same time. Both at the same time is... Well, I mean, you can see what it is, but... not no hit.
Yeah, I got hit a couple times.
You only have to move up or down, but you also have to hit left and right arrows.
Alright, so left or right, what was everyone's favorite?
I think right just edged it out.
Oh, alright. You guys are lucky.
I forgot which side was which. I thought right was fight.
Whoops.
I would have been a bad person.
And seeing a kind of crossover with other games, we'll go ahead and play Botanic Panic as well.
This one, I pretty much had to redraw a lot of the animation by watching YouTube videos frame by frame because Cuphead had just come out, so they weren't rips. So I had to take a few liberties with some of the frames as well. But I think this file showcase is probably my favorite style of mod file game design, where it shows you the gimmicks one at a time. The first gimmick is the Cagney Carnation obscures the playfield, tries to get in the way of the arrows. The second gimmick is so the character that you saw in Got Me Race that was played earlier, Ayase, dressed up as Hilda Berg.
I love
and
that story.
she's actually referencing a gimmick from one of the stages. I think it's one of the funfair stages, where if you shoot a target, a platform tips down. If she shoots the target for a playfield, it tips down, and you have to read the other one. Here we have Kala Maria, who freezes the notes, but you can still see them, so you just have to hit what's on screen, and by the time you've exhausted the on-screen notes, you'll be able to pick up where you left off, really. So it's not super difficult, but if you're not used to it, this will trip you up. And next we have the devil. The devil just smacks the screen, smacks the playfield to compress it, which is sort of, you just have to look at the arrows that are coming up and use a little mental buffer. And for the final section, it is everything at the same time. And I love that. I love when games do that. I think it's just really fun to sort of, here's everything you've done so far, to sort of final exam type of gameplay.
Yeah. All right. So far, so good.
I have such a hard time timing that song.
Oh, the sync is that file is synced like the Titanic. Don't worry about the sync.
All right, so we're gonna move on to a file made by a different mod creator. Believe it or not, Taro and Windu aren't the only ones who made mods. This is from a siphoning tournament called Celestial Harbor, made by Daiki. This file is a bit of a doozy. I'm gonna have to focus pretty hard on this one.
Oh yeah. I think this was the penultimate stage for Decky's Celestial Harbor tournament, and yeah, I think me and Smooty actually played together.
Yeah, we did.
I got absolutely wrecked.
This file is extremely difficult. It is rated 18 out of 20 on the current mod's difficulty rating scale, and if you had no idea what was going on in the earlier files, God can't save you now.
I guess that's another thing we can talk about real quick. Just mod difficulty, like the scale.
Oh yes.
There wasn't really, I guess, agreed upon scale for all of these files. Until Mods Bootcamp 3 came along, I think that really solidified the 1 to 20 scale, which I think works really, really well. Because, yeah, before that, like, the Mods Bootcamp 1 and 2, the difficulty was just 1 through 4, which was literally the tier that it was put into the tournament, which didn't really give much information as to the difficulty of the files.
So here's another driven drop. This is an incredibly hard driven drop because you have to switch back to the top once you reach the bottom, and continuously do this without losing your place. And then it gets worse. The arrows start to skew, and then I don't understand how to read this. I can't. The Spooty's very good at it. It's something about the slight skewing, even though the arrows are still pointing in the direction they're supposed to. It just makes it feel like they aren't. It's an optical illusion.
I almost lost my spot there. It was close.
If you lose your spot in this kind of mod, you're dead.
Yeah. I think, and then it gets worse, it's just the catchphrase of mod files.
I'm pretty sure Spooty almost failed, actually.
Yeah, I think I saw, like, the
Yeah.
dimmed background.
Background gets
Good recovery, though.
Yeah. This section is pretty good for getting your life bar back up.
I think we're coming up on the wheel. Yep, there's the wheel. That's something that Becky is very, very known for. look on the end of the file here, I believe.
Yeah.
Still going strong.
Oh, the mine. There's a hidden mine right at the end of the last plot. If you don't let go of this hold that's coming up at the right moment, you're going to hit the mine that is not visible, but you can definitely hear it. And it actually has the potential to cause you to fail if you're not ready for it.
Yeah, I actually got a barely, which means my life was below 10% there. So that was really close.
Getting a little dicey.
Okay, so we mentioned the UKSRT series before. We're actually not going to jump right into the UKSRT. I'm going to start here because it's before the stuff I have in here. We're going to start with Nisemono. Nisemono is kind of a special song for a lot of us, I think. It's made by Frums, who is very much an active person in the mods scene, like with a lot of the mods folks, and a lot of rhythm games in general. If you've played rhythm games, you may have heard their music before. They composed this song specifically for Monster Mash 3, and it's a big collaborative effort. I think it's really representative of like the kind of things you can create when you come together as a community.
Yeah, it's a big old collab.
Mm-hmm.
It's also really, really hard.
Yeah.
It's another 18.
Start with some spooky build-up. It takes this opportunity to drink some water. Stay hydrated, everyone, even if you're not stomping arrows.
Well, speaking of community, we've got a lot of love for you in the donations here as well. Mind if I read some more?
Go for it.
Well, we got a $50 donation from Beakers that says, clap, clap. That came in a lot earlier, that one did, yeah. We got a $25 donation from Zachary with no comment. We got a $10 donation from Anonymous, and I'm going to guess this makes sense to you. It just says Chicken Alfredo.
No! Not this again.
I hate to inform you, but there's another $2 anonymous donation that also says Chicken Alfredo. And then we also have a $22.22 donation from Ash Astro with no comment. So thank you very much, everybody, for your donations there. Just want to remember as well, everybody, when you are donating to this, please take a look at our donation incentives, take a look at the targets and the polls. You can put your donations towards both of them. We do have our Metroid Fusion donation for the secret message Easter egg now active, because we have met the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Items will be added into the mix. Thank you very much for all your donations, folks.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, I know it was mentioned in chat a little while ago when Seismo was playing that like the winning score was like a mid-40. So this was the final stage for Monster Mash 3, and the winning score was like in the teens, I think.
Yes, the final scores were 19% versus 21%. And I think that's the lowest. No, it's the second lowest winning score. I think the first lowest winning score was on Standoff in the Twilight, which was at the end of 2019. That was a winning score of 20%. And I don't think Standoff is in this is going to be making an appearance in this marathon.
No, I can't pass it.
Standoff is one of the, I would say, probably the hardest mod file currently made that isn't Forbidden, which also isn't going to be showing up, but Forbidden was created by Daiki to just be the hardest thing ever.
Also nice combo during that break. I'll just throw that out.
Nice. Yeah, maybe during a future marathon we can get a Forbidden pass.
Oh man, that would be ridiculous. I tried playing it recently, and like the first note came up, and I just.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to die in the first 10 notes and then never recover.
Yeah.
We're coming up on my section in. Nisemono, and I didn't feel like making mods today, so I just programmed the minigame for.
This entire file really is just a callback to the previous stages of this tournament. correctly,
Yes.
right?
This one is about keeping the ball in the air by hitting the corresponding arrow of the person and not hitting the mines.
That is incorrect. Try again. As Chad says.
Alright, we're kind of on the hard part of this file. Yes, this has been the easy part up to this point.
I could not consistently pass this one.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the ones I'm aiming for. This, Doppelganger, I think this one, Doppelganger's in this list as well.
Yes.
But yeah. So, right there, after the, like, intentional lag part with the jagged holes, you have to actually change your reading to the center, as, like, in contrast to left and right, which I didn't realize at the time, and I just, like, completely disintegrated. That's another thing, too, actually, we can talk about is context switching. Sometimes you're so, like, zoned in on one area of the screen, because, like, you can read it, and sometimes mod files just play the old switcheroo game on you. You have to divert your eyes somewhere else, because where you're reading is where you can't read anymore.
This part does not make any sense to me. I can see all of the arrows that I need to hit, but I just can't put them to motions.
Oh,
Everything
yeah,
is
same.
happening, and it's all so much.
And there's also a lot of crossovers, which we didn't really talk about, like, patterning in charts at all. But,
That's right.
yeah, crossovers are a little bit more of a complicated motion. It's when you're intended to hit, like, the left arrow with your right foot, or vice versa.
Mhm.
And it really forces you to move your body a lot more, and can be a lot harder. Things can get a little hard to read when you're having to make more exaggerated motions.
Yeah, definitely.
It really tests your mastery of, do you understand how to read this gimmick well enough to pick out individual arrows that have been placed in cruel ways? Because a lot of it comes down to you can trust that the patterns are patterned in that are placed in a way that lets you just sort of walk through the chart, always alternating feet, and it really narrows down a lot of what arrows you have to hit next. So say you first hit a left arrow with your left foot. You know that if the next arrow isn't a left, you're going to have to use your right foot. And it wouldn't really make sense for it to be, especially if the next arrow is down, it wouldn't really make sense to hit that with your left foot again. And you can already sort of move your right foot into the right place.
Nisemono had a lot of sinister vibes to it, but now we're gonna lay back a little bit with something a little more lighthearted.
I wonder who that is. This is Taro 4012. So, Mawaru is sort of, it started like 10 years ago. It's 12 now. I basically just wanted to create WarioWare in Stepmania. And so I did. And it became this big series because people liked it, so I made more. So each section is going to be a little thing based on either a reference to a previous tournament or a reference to someone in the community, or
By the way, shout out to the rolled out run that was earlier on in the marathon. We're gonna play that for a little bit.
I'm friends with Twilight, the developer of Rolled Out, and I posted the picture of Morris that I drew for this in their server under the guise that it was just innocuous Rolled Out fan art. Little did he know. I had actually implemented an engine. Yeah, like I said, it's just a general purpose 3D game engine that happens to have a rhythm game stapled onto it. You just do whatever you want.
Even though Morrison owned the poll from earlier, they still get a nice cameo here.
True. Shoutouts to Mario Maker.
Nuke 'em. There we go. Perfect.
Nice.
Alright, so we get a little break here. We're going to teach you about the column swap mods. Flip.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, flips the order, and invert rotates the inner with the outer, pretty much. Kind of hard to explain exactly.
Yeah.
And then the last one, this.
Yeah, flip and invert just basically do different column permutations. In contrast to the standard left down upright.
That's the Fat Yoshi.
Everyone loves Fat Yoshi.
Shoutouts to Citus.
Another rhythm game.
Shoutouts to Just Shapes and Beats, another rhythm game.
Oh, this is Shapes and Beats?
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Hey, G, would you make me a sandwich?
Alright, so... Yeah, as the song goes on, the tempo goes up, so we're above 200 now.
This is actually a shout out to Forbidden of the file we were talking about earlier.
Yeah. This is a manageable version of Forbidden.
You know, I don't feel like playing Stepmania anymore. Let's do a Baba Is You speedrun.
True! So, I actually had some professional Baba players playtest this to make sure my engine worked. And it's surprisingly robust for Stepmania.
That was so many gamer god points.
So each of the minigames in this Moaru had a coin that you could pick up, and in Baba you have to make the coin yourself. However, you can exploit it to get infinite coins. And that's just something that Spooty got very good at setting up. But we discovered an infinite coin setup, and we decided to leave it in, because if you could figure that out during the tournament, you kind of deserve those
Ooh, I broke
points.
350!
351! You got 184% bonus just from getting infinite coin.
Alright, so... moving on to one of the late stages in UKSRT X Doppelganger. This one's a real fun one. And it's really, really hard.
Mm-hmm.
This was the first part of the final round of UKSRT-X, which was the last main UKSRT we ran towards the end of 2019. So this file just sort of does a lot of things. This file and the one that came after it, Part 2, Golden Rule, took about 2 years to make. Mostly because of the whole process of, I had to animate everything, I modeled everything, coming up with the ideas, throwing out stuff that wasn't fun, just iterating on it until it was as good as it could be for the skill levels of the people that I knew were going to be attending. And I think it turned out really well.
Oh yeah.
This is probably the meanest context switch, one of the meanest context switches in ITG, thing Windu was talking about earlier. You have to constantly be moving in a clockwise direction with your eyes, and follow the playfield that is white, because the playfields that have been darkened have misleading information on them about which arrows are supposed to be hit.
Yeah, I think that's something that mod files tend to do. Just as far as like intentional information overload.
Yeah.
Makes for some very interesting reading scenarios.
This one is switching between reading the near portal and the far portal because at any given time, one of them is not going to have enough information to read.
And that part of that too was just like a series of callbacks to previous tournaments.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the hard part.
Oh no, you didn't install Counter-Strike Source. So in here, the screen has been split into 4 segments, and each segment has a different set of mods on it. And you just kind of have to hold on for dear life. Bit of a break. Just read it. That's all you gotta read the directions.
By the way, on the second coming up, I hear, I understand that the speedrunning community in general is rather fond of orbs.
That's true.
And oh boy, do I have some orbs for you!
We want to see some orbs in the chat. GLSL is, so this is pretty much all done inside one shader, and I pretty much learned how to write shaders to make this part of the file, and shaders are a very, very deep and interesting topic. The act of making all of this kind of stuff was really pioneered by the demo scene, and I have to give a big shout out to FMS Cat for implementing shaders in NotITG in the first place. A lot sort of had to happen for this to be what it is, and also a lot of meta had to develop for this to actually be something that people can play, as opposed to just a bunch of random nonsense. It is Great Marching time. So this is the finale. It's just sort of a big rush of arrows, probably more dense than any other part of the chart, but the mods aren't super bad. And he turns into a final arrow for you to hit. That is a very good score.
Yeah.
Alright, so I wanna cover some stuff by people other than Taro and Windu, because we've done a lot of work by them. We've got a file by Zero called Clock, and it's really gonna focus on that driven drop we mentioned before. Also, how are we doing on time?
You currently have about another, say, 33 minutes.
Oh, okay. We're doing good. Probably go back to some of the extra stuff in some of the other folders then. This is just Driven Drop, the file.
I see the chat is reacting violently to this chart showing up. If you liked Driven Drops before, this is the file for you. It is one Driven Drop. The arrows do not move towards the targets at all. It is only the targets that move. The arrows do start moving, though.
And as the file progresses, it kind of just takes. It slowly takes away every like bit of fundamentals that you've had before. Like so, now you can't read by column anymore. You have to read purely by direction. And I think a little later, the targets themselves are going to disappear, and the notes are going to do something akin to like just a telegraph of when you're supposed to hit them. Like I think they're going to zoom in individually, for example.
Oh, I forgot they start rotating. Oh no.
Yeah, this basically just becomes sudden now. With like, you kind of have to wait for the direction to stabilize.
Yeah, and then it gets worse is pretty much how mods game design works. I think that's how a lot of the best game design can be summed up as, and then it gets worse, to be fair.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, now we're coming up on getting rid of the targets. So now we're just kind of suspended in the air with arrows coming towards us in some kind of sequence.
A big part of reading this is also, again, the assumption that the patterns are reasonable and won't ask you to do anything bizarre like spin or crossover. It's just straight forward-facing, alternating feet patterns the whole way. And if it were any other way, it would not be possible at all. Or it would be possible, just no one would play that.
Yeah, I think Spooty mentioned a lot of things. What was I gonna say? Sorry. Foot parity is the big thing. Like left, right, left, right, left, right, just alternating like that. And I think clock is a pretty good example of that. Just kind of trusting that you have to go left, right for all of it.
Okay, the last time I played this chart, I failed it, so hopefully that doesn't happen.
Wait, you're playing with 17?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Sure.
For the second chart, the hyper.
Yeah.
So this one's by Xwajin. Y'all have some background on Xwajin.
I mean, if you've ever played Archaea rhythm game, you've probably heard of Xwajin. Xwajin is a programmer and graphic designer that sort of appeared in the community one day and decided, I'm going to make the hardest things that use 90% of my brain in order to read. And this file is extremely parity focused. It will do things where it obscures entire columns, and you have to work out what the next arrow is going to be by assuming that the chart is alternating feet, and you know it's an unbroken eighth note stream, so it's always going to be red, blue, red, blue, red, blue. So if you see two blues in a row...
I fell off parity.
If you see you died. If you see two blue arrows in a row, you know that the red arrow has to be in the obscured column.
Yeah, we've been talking about like how to read mod charts just in different ways throughout the block. Another one I think we touched upon, kind of what Tara was inferring, is what we like to call trust exercises. They just kind of like fill in the blank with the information you're missing otherwise, with just like educated guessing and kind of what the file is leading you towards.
Yeah, wow, I fell apart in the ending too. That file's pretty hard.
Yeah.
But hey, for going like an hour into the marathon and only failing a song now, I'm doing pretty good, I'd say.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we have to mention, Spooty is not memorizing any of these. He is reading all of them.
This one's a popular song among the ITG tech and fantastic attack community. We're gonna play some Upshift, the Inosuke remix. Sorry made this mod file. Also worth noting that all the things in this segment were made in mod rushes and mod jams. We can talk about that a little bit.
Oh yes. So we host essentially our own version of a game jam, which is a mod jam or a mod rush, where you have, depending on which one, you have either 2 days or 1 week to make a mod file for the game any way you can. Pretty much, there's no bar for entry. Anyone can make files for this sort of thing. We've made Stepmania before, and you have an interest in making mods, I encourage you to check out the Discord server. There are lots of resources on how to get started. And jams are a great way to get into making these kind of things because there are no expectations and you have a deadline. That's always been a big help for me, at least, to finish things. Just having a deadline, and also everyone's going to be willing to help if you have any questions. It's all made in Lua, and
yeah, like I think that is one of the key points that Spooty wanted to get across in this blog, is that like anyone can get into it, and anyone can get into playing these charts, and anyone can get into making them as well. Definitely a very big community.
mm-hmm. Okay. During testing, we had a bugged version that was way harder than it was supposed to be, and
Oh, that's right.
this is going to be a very good score, actually.
Well, it's going to be pretty okay. The offset's a little off. I have to.
Okay.
It was a full combo,
It's a full combo.
which is solid. Oh, I actually don't have the song. Okay, well, we'll just play the 8 then. This one is.
Oh,
Yeah, this one is Alien. It's another mod jam file made by Taro.
Yeah, this one's this is a song from Touch My Katamari on the, I believe, the DS. I don't remember exactly which version.
I think it was the Vita.
Oh, the Vita? Okay. But this is one of my favorite songs from that game. That had a lot of very strange music in it, and the gimmick of this one, I made this one in about 48 hours, actually. The main gimmick of this one is that, much like S-Mod that was just played, it is split into 16 squares. And I do different things to the different sets of squares, so I can make the arrows within certain squares scroll faster or slower. But I can also cover them up with doors. And I start sort of just layering the concepts on top of each other to create different reading experiences using a very simple base gimmick that has the potential to get very challenging to read. It actually has a harder chart that Spooty was going to play but forgot that it was unlockable.
yeah. That's okay.
I think the normal chart is better for showing off the gimmick itself, though. The harder chart sort of assumes that you already know how it works.
And I mean, speaking of harder charts, we Ben said this.
Oh, we met it?
Oh, we did?
The song
Oh,
is
yeah.
Shannon, right?
Oh, yes.
Ooh. What slumpage is Spooty gonna play?
I have a few in mind.
Ooh, okay.
And the pace I'm going at, I think I should have some extra time in the base block too. So I can try a few.
Yeah, I was gonna say the incentive is separate from the block.
I believe it is, yes.
Okay. I think we're just doing really good on time. Oh, so,
That offset still needs to go earlier.
Yep,
Yeah.
time still says you got about 20 odd minutes as well.
mm-hmm. As long as there's a bit of a break, well, unless Sue is going to say something, is just going to reach out for if there's any donations.
Yes. We have plenty coming in. They are still coming through, but I apologize for the next one. We got another $20 for Stealthfire 101, who simply says, Chicken Alfredo.
I mean, it's for charity. It's generating money. Keep the chicken Alfredos coming.
We also got a $55.21 donation from Anonymous with no message. Thank you very much. A $20.38 donation from Ivory with no comment there. And finally, a $20 donation from OB5VR again that simply says, thank you for having our community. And thank you for coming out and showcasing these amazing maps here. My mind is blown. I don't know how you can read half this. And yeah, just the community coming out, showing all the love. It is greatly appreciated.
Yeah, you guys are awesome.
This is another file made by a person I mentioned earlier, FMS Cat, a demo scener from Japan, who is the one that implemented shaders into the game in the first place. This file is very pretty.
Oh yeah.
It's very pretty, and it's full of shoutouts to actual. It's actually full of shoutouts to like demos and stuff. But this section I think is a shoutout to a file from UKSRT8 that had a big cube in the middle that had arrows. But the second half of this goes completely wild with the background being a gigantic crackle. I have no idea how they even came up with this.
Yeah.
This is a part that always looks so much easier when I'm watching it compared to when I'm playing it. I play it and I just can't, but when I'm watching Spooty play it, I'm like, oh, okay, I can see the arrows.
Yeah, same. I fall into that trap a lot, just watching other mod streams.
Yeah.
I think it's because those arrows in that section like are actually target graphics instead of like the actual arrows. So I get really confused.
I feel like they actually aren't, they're just regular arrows that have a shader applied to them. It just makes them look like targets.
Oh man, speaking of shaders, this next file as well.
This file is gorgeous. It's made by a prominent member of the modding community known as K-Puma. This song as well does a lot of things.
Yeah.
I think this is one of the coolest files that has been released recently. The visuals are top notch.
Yeah, for sure. So a bit of a conveyor section here. Just have to really pay attention to the sequence plus the direction because you can't really read that column at that point.
I think this is probably my favorite section coming up. This is the pink section. I think it's visually incredible.
Yeah.
So all of this is like it looks like a really well edited video, but it's all sort of done programmatically. This is all running in an engine in real time. It's not anything pre-made or...
Yeah, that really just speaks volumes, I think, to what you can really do in non-video/Stepmania. It's just like, basically, your creativity is
Yeah, if you can come up with an idea, you can ask people, how would I do this, and you would get an answer, essentially.
Yeah, basically what it's like. NotITG is video editing software that can also make games.
I actually do use NotITG as a video editor. I have made tweets that contain videos that were made using NotITG. But also, the fact that it is a rhythm game gives you access to so many things, so many tools for syncing things to the music. Like, you probably noticed this, but pretty much everything in every file that has been played today is all synced to the music.
Yeah. And that's really key to the whole thing. Like, just syncing, just graphics and effects to the music really gives it that oomph.
All right. What? How much time are we at?
We are currently at... We've got about another 15 minutes to be safe.
That's okay. And that's before the slump incentive?
Yeah. That's separate. You get 10 minutes for the incentive.
Okay. Alright, well, let's see. What, because, yeah, I am down to the last folder here, the ominous X folder here, which has a file that I kind of consider... If there's a file that I would call the current, like, true final boss of mods, it has that vibes. That sort of vibe.
Yeah.
So, let's see. There's a file, oh, we could play Dying Breath of Stukesia, maybe.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we'll do Dying Breath of Stukesia. This was one of the later stages from UKSRT 9.
Yes. This was the semi-final round of UKSRT 9. The context of this file is that a deadly virus, a deadly computer virus, has escaped while you are trapped inside a computer, and this is just wreaking havoc on the computer space that you're inhabiting. So there are all these sort of references to a graphics card dying as sort of the general aesthetic of the file.
There's some cool stuff later on. Hopefully it all works correctly.
It smells something else.
There's a
Yeah.
dramatic data mosh. This was a collab between me, Kuro, Finnish mod creator, and Ku, general purpose programmer. Wrote a lot of shaders and do a lot of silly things. This is a section called Do I Look Like I Know What a JPEG Is? That sort of layers on some JPEG, some real crust to the imagery on screen.
I love my stuffed crust mod files.
So, this section coming up is probably the funniest thing, because I had not seen this before Perot came to London to help run the event, and this part replaces the notes with random on-screen elements. So you have notes that have become entire playfields, notes that are just the judgments, notes that are just the player's score, and notes that are receptors that are currently hitting arrows. And then it just switches back to a normal mod file, but all of the quantizations have been replaced with different objects. It's very silly.
Yeah, really, Puro knows how to just nail the aesthetic.
On.
Oh no, the game crashed.
You're doing alright till halfway.
Yeah, that was a fake crash. So,
Thanks for clarifying, Taro.
no, you never know. So this is another great example of a context switch. This one is very telegraphed. The camera literally moves around the different screens and shows you what you have to read.
If you could see my face on that second to last monitor, I turned my head 90 degrees to read that.
That person on the right there is the virus herself. And now we replace all the notes with random Taiko, Sound Voltex, Guitar Hero, and Pump It Up objects. And you just have to read that as if they're normal arrows.
Yeah, it's all objects from like different rhythm games. None of those things sounded familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's a really hard to time. The rhythms are real tricky on that one. Alright. Yeah, we could do Fafnir.
Yeah, sure.
Let's do Fafnir. This is another song from the last round of Mods Boot Camp 3. So, we'll go ahead and get this one going.
Oh, Fafnir's so good.
Fafnir is incredibly hard.
Go, everyone get ready to unsheath your katanas.
So there's a little effect that happens a little way into this file. You have to hit a long hole. And once you hit that hole, this down arrow hole coming up, player 2 disappears and slices the screen open.
Yeah, with that very hole. Yeah, this file just completely wrecked me the first time I tried it, but like after learning it, it's like one of the most fun things I think. Just like constant shifting of where you're focusing your eyes on.
Yeah, this is probably, I would say, the second hardest thing to sight read in all of Mods Boot Camp 3. Sight read being play after seeing it for the first time.
There's another screen slice.
Yeah, that one's vertical, and the slices start moving more aggressively, and I got some particle effects going through the middle of the screen. You don't know why there's a white square in the top left of the screen, but I've named him Jeremy, so... Everyone say hi to Jeremy.
Hey, nice FC.
Jeremy just... Oh, wow. Yeah, wow, 9560.
That is a
Jeez.
very, very good score for this file.
Okay, I think we're going to go ahead and jump into that file I was mentioning before in this ominously... Oh, wait. That's right, I almost forgot. Windu made a file for me. I almost forgot about that. So, yeah, for everyone who's been... For everyone who's been, you know, kind of wondering, like, he probably just has this all memorized. No, we are going to drag and drop a brand new file that I have never seen before.
Yep, I don't think I could have picked a better song for this.
Oh, wow, yeah, that's a perfect song, hey.
The song is literally named Headspace. It is a coincidence that the marathon is also named Headspace. It is made by Ash Astral, who is in the chat right now.
So yeah, y'all are gonna see this. This is a brand new debut. Windu's been working on this for the past couple of weeks. No one else, as far as I know, has seen it. Like, he's maybe sent it to one other person for testing, but this is this file's debut. We'll see how I do.
Yep. Should I just let the file speak for itself?
And I drew something for it.
Yeah.
We'll see if I can get the sight read clear.
I say Spooty has about a 95% chance of sight read clearing this. It's not 100 though. But watch out.
Whoops.
Yeah, I really have to draw attention to the fact that he's never seen this before. So, it's not just memorization. It's a big game design thing.
Ooh, okay. Almost lost me there.
I love this section.
Whew, okay, I got a little low on health at some points. I got a little. I misread a few rhythms and almost failed. But that is a sight read pass with a pretty nice lucky score there.
Give it up for Spooty.
All right.
First try pass.
And yeah, that was his sight read. He has not seen that file.
Yeah, again, I've heard the song like a few times a pretty long time ago. It was in the ECFA pack. But yeah, haven't seen the chart, haven't seen the mods, heard the song in the past, but yeah, that's all I had to go by. And sometimes that can trip you up because you expect certain rhythms in the chart that aren't actually there, like stepped. So like knowing the song ahead of time is a double-edged sword. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and play what I was hyping up before. Is if there's a song that is the true final boss of mods right now, it's this.
Alright.
Alright.
The
Good luck.
expert. Let's go.
I have cleared this one time. And we'll see if I can do it again. Let's go.
So, this is the only mods level 19 in the showcase. The difficulty sort of exponentially increases after 18.
Yeah.
Pretty much every section is relating to a final boss from a previous tournament or standalone release. So it is just back-to-back the hardest things in the community all thrown into one file. I would be okay with rating this 20. I think if we just expand the scale, we put this on 20, and we put Standoff also on 20, I think that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Looking good so far.
When you think of me,
This is quite a nice long break.
fire burning brightly like the sun. Upon I enchant him, and I am the only one.
I think for this, for the next, like, 40 seconds, if you have a couple donations.
We do indeed. We have got, let me just go through and get them here. We've got a $10 donation here from Mushroom Tortellini that simply says Donkey Kong. And that is, of course, referencing the Donkey Kong poll that we have going on for the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe character choice. Donkey Kong currently at $177.95. Roy Koopa is at $57.59. And Waluigi still in the lead right now with $277.52. So it is $100 needed if you want to knock Waluigi off the top spot.
Alright, so it's starting to build back up in difficulty. This is a section that is full of untrustworthy patterns and also mines, so you have to really be paying attention. And that's Doppelganger, a reference to a file played earlier. Now we have Disparagioia, another file that was also played earlier. That was the first 18, I think, that was played at the big driven drop where if you lose your place, you die. Alright, we made it to this section. In this section, half of the screen freezes. The screen halves take turns alternating being frozen. And I frequently lose my place and cannot read this, so Spooty doing a great job comboing it somehow.
Yeah, looking great.
Ooh, that was bad.
Oh, careful. I think the section after this is actually the hardest part of the file, for me anyway. The absurd daft section. It contains a weird crossover where you have to hit left, down, up, right while facing sideways. And sort of discern that you have to do that during that mod. Alright, last section. This is worthless to Fafnir, the file that was just played.
Oh! Made it!
Oh!
That got
Nice.
close.
Nice!
I almost fell off at the very end.
That's the second time he's ever passed it.
Whew.
Glad to have been in a marathon.
Let's see how close the life bar got. It got to like 30%.
GG's. Fantastic. That
Yeah,
stuff is nuts.
I think that's the hardest file in the set. But no, wait, the slumpage was met. The slumpage.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's like you're over time now for the standard stuff, but you do have your slumpage incentive. So when you're going to get, you get set up for that, we're going to reset the timer and get your incentive on that. I have may I do some donations here? We've got a big one coming for you.
All right.
We have a $77.77 donation from it is Telperian that just simply says LFG. And then on top of that, we have a $11.15 donation from Glory High, who says, "Hey, looks like it's Roundup donation time." And then at the exact same time, we had Duke Firebird coming with an $11.16 donation going, "Goal met." And what are they talking about? We have just smashed the 3,000 donation goal that we were having for the marathon here. We're at $3,011.15 in total right now. So thank you very much, everybody, for your donations. It has been absolutely amazing. But please do not stop there. We still have more incentives coming up, more marathon run. But now it's time for some slumpage.
All right, so
Yeah, let's go.
yeah, I actually am not sure. Like, I was kind of gonna pick what I play here based on how I felt at the end of this whole block, because the difficulty of slumpage charts ranges a little bit. Slumpage is like kind of the community term for like an extra difficulty level to a file that's not really the one that's kind of that's like intended to be played. Let's go ahead. Let's see if I can make it through the beginning of Possessed by Blood Moon slumpage, and if not, if I fail in the first like 30 seconds, which is likely, I'll change gears. Something that I think I have a higher chance of passing. I did practice the beginning a little bit, which the beginning is the hardest part of this for me. After this intro.
Luck. Yeah, the steps for this slumpage are so rough.
Yeah, this is like, what, 210 BPM, and there's going to be 16 first in there.
I love these shirts, but cannot for the life of me deal with them. They are so much beyond what is usually expected. Oh, we made it out of the conveyor. Let's go. I'd say the conveyor is one of the hardest parts, but the whole thing is the hardest part, because they're just 16 minutes, over 200 BPM. It's fast, and you have to do this with your feet.
Yeah.
Not to mention, while reading all of these mods, this would be hard even without the crazy arrows moving everywhere.
Ooh, come with that burst. Let's go. Let's go.
Is this the furthest you've gotten so far?
Yes.
Ooh, let's go.
Keep it up.
That's the power of your donations.
Black magic.
That was a dangerous transition.
Okay, hardest part coming up.
That feel when you ain't done yet. Ooh! Are we through?
I think that's a world first pad pass of that.
No.
That is,
way.
yeah. Let's go!
Oh
No
God.
way! That's the first time anyone in the world has passed that on pad.
I
That
swear.
barely. In a marathon, no less.
The event adrenaline is so real.
That is hype.
Wow.
I mean, the accuracy was
job.
terrible. Like, my accuracy is all over the place, because I was just, like, clinging to life.
No. We take those. We take those.
But we take those, exactly. We take those.
I didn't want to say a word until it was over.
Yeah, no, I was completely clenched. I was holding my breath.
Okay. Well,
That's just for you so far.
yeah, we can maybe fit one more in, but I don't know what to play now. Like, I expected to fail that in the first 30 seconds and switch to Insomnia Finale Intense.
I mean, if you're still feeling it, maybe.
Well, it was 10 minutes for this, right?
Oh.
And Insomnia Finale is like it's like 8 minutes long.
You've got time for one more.
Yeah, I like one more song. I don't think I have time for it. I don't want to drag the block out and do the whole marathon.
More?
Let's see.
Oh, Upshift. Upshift is good.
Oh yeah, we could try Upshift. The ending of Upshift on Slumpage is really hard. We'll try that though. I have had past this before, but the ending gets really rough.
Just seeing that pass alone on Blood Moon Slumpage was like worth the incentive, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
My mind has been blown.
This song feels so slow now.
It would do. Shout out to Soray, by the way, who's in the chat for making this file.
And watch out, all of the effects are red now instead of white.
True.
That's the real difficulty increase here.
Actually, Blood Moon did the same thing. It was purple in the normal version, and in the Slumpage, the graphics became red. And this is another file that does a similar thing.
That one is so hard to read.
Oh wow, I did not know that was going to be a 16th stream.
Yeah, it's kind of mean. But also, you know, Slumpage is polar punches.
Yeah. Oftentimes, I don't think this was the case. I don't think it was the case for this file or Blood Moon, but oftentimes what happens is a Slumpage chart is when a file is first made, it gets sent to a tester, and the tester goes, "What on earth are you doing? That is impossible." And it just gets put onto the Slumpage difficulty slot, while a more reasonable chart is made for the normal chart. But I think this one was created with the intent of it just being a very hard thing. Oh wow, okay. You sort of nailed that.
I'm gonna sing. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na na na. And we'll finish off the marathon with a little spin there. Alright.
Nice.
I am heckin' tired.
Wow.
Nice.
So, I think that's a solid note to end on. A little sing along. And yeah, before I go, I just, I want to touch on, given that this marathon has such a focus on mental health, and there's kind of a struggle I went through pretty recently. And, it's something that I kind of want to share with everyone real quick. Because, social media, we've kind of gotten to a point where it's, expected of us, and, it's just that we'll all use it. But, a lot of the way it's constructed is, constructed in a way that is not mentally friendly for a lot of people. Whether it's, you're dealing with targeted harassment or going through a bunch of controversial headlines, it's got a pretty profound effect on our mental health. Sometimes, I think, more than we're willing to acknowledge. So, to anyone else who maybe is struggling with some things like that, make sure you take the time to kind of step away from the big, megaphone that is social media sometimes, and really talk to your friends on a more one-on-one basis, because it really helped me get through a lot of problems I was having, and helped me get through some hard times, just to be able to have that more personal connection. Substitute that shouting into the void in social media kind of. So just a reminder to take care of yourselves and make sure that you are giving yourself personal time away. Healthy, and it's physically and mentally, both are just as important and linked to each other. So, you know, yeah, look after yourselves and look after each other, you know? Anything you want to add, Tara Windu?
Trans rights.
Yes, of course.
Just, I mean, well said overall and well performed with both the main block and the slumpage block especially.
I am still thinking about Blood Moon.
And yeah, thanks again to all your support. It's an honor to be the block, you know, that was going when we broke the 3 mark. But, you know, considering how early it is in the day, do we have 4K in us? We might have 4K in us. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
So the stream can be caught in 4K.
Hey. All right.
Yeah.
Well, Spooty, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Spootaloo and also here on Twitch at twitch.tv. Yeah, I do a lot of this game. I do a lot of Ring Fit. You know, we do a lot of exercise on my stream, but also touch. You know, yeah, if you want to hang out and like learn some stuff about mods or any of the other games, it goes for my 2 commentators as well.
Yeah, you can find out about NotITG on the Discord, which is uksrt.heysora.net/discord.
And I want to emphasize that this is a game that like anyone can get into playing, even if you don't have a dance pad. Playing on keyboard is just as valid, like with the red layout or whatever. Like you can play it with your hands too. You know, it's a successful game like that. There's a lot of ways to play it. Check them out.
Definitely. All right, we are going to switch over to an intermission here and get ourselves set up for our next run. Thank you for this absolutely amazing showcase here for Not in the Groove Stepmania. It has been absolutely phenomenal. But we are going to switch over now. We're going to Joe and Mac 2, Lost in the Tropics, after this quick intermission.